Now it's time for our special guest, Jeff Cottrill. Jeff Cottrill is a fiction writer, journalist, and spoken word artist based in Toronto, Canada. His performance style is influenced by slam conventions but subverts them with wit, ironic humour, and a satirical tone. He has headlined in countless literary series throughout Canada, the UK, and the US over the last 20 years. In the past several months, he's been published in several international anthologies from New York to Australia. Jeff has authored 4 chapbooks and recorded 3 CDs, and he's soon to launch Hate Story, his 7th or 8th attempt at a first novel. That's further than I've ever got with one, Jeff, so well done. Please give us a big warm welcome for Jeff Cottrill.
Woo! Jeff. Thanks, Anne. So I'll get started on that then. Look! Up in the sky! No, not the sky. In the coffee shop, sitting at the corner table, alone, scrolling down his cell phone with 2 days' growth of beard and a milk stain on his pants. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a dog? Is it a waffle iron? Is it a shoe? No, it's Adequate Man. Adequate Man, faster than a speeding hamster, more powerful than a toddler, able to leap over a tall canary in a single bound. Adequate Man. When trouble rears its head, does he ignore it? No, he stays home and reads about it on the internet. When faced with injustice, does he lie down? No, he sits and tells others on social media to do something. When people are needy, does he neglect them? No, he donates $5 to the cause if it's tax deductible. When trash needs to be taken out, when dishes need to be dried, when the dog needs to be walked, he does it. Whatever the crisis, whatever the threat, citizens know they can call on him for the bare minimum. Tremble before the powers of Adequate Man, his 20/20 vision, his average physical strength, his ability to melt steel with the help of welding equipment, his bachelor's degree in environmental studies, his office data entry job, the force of which has allowed him to pay off part of his student loan, his capability of viewing an entire Netflix series in one binge, his gift for devouring 6 pizza slices in one meal. Watch Adequate Man and you will believe a man can fly, provided that he makes the airport gate on time. Adequate Man and his loyal sidekick, Drinking Buddy. What a duo. Together they rid the world of craft beer and chicken wings while they bravely watch hockey and basketball on the pub TV. When Adequate with the right answer every time, Drinking Buddy. And when Adequate Man faces another lonely Saturday evening, whom does he call on for help? Drinking Buddy, of course. With Drinking Buddy 6-packs and Xbox games, both of them team up to save the night once more. Feel the wrath of the mortal enemies of Adequate Man, the landlord who keeps reminding him the rent is late, the neighborhood tabby cat who triggers his allergies, the cute, perky ex who just wants to be friends now, the messy, filthy apartment that still refuses to clean itself, and his ultimate nemesis, the Joker. Specifically, his old high school acquaintance, Bob, who now works in upper management at the same company. Still working in data entry, eh, Adequate Man? Don't let the high stress get to you. Oh, the laughter, the crazed, mocking laughter. One day, Bob, you will get yours. And so, citizens, the next time you need a hero who can help you rake your leaves, or give you a lift to the airport, or take money at the door at your next poetry event, you know who to look for. Look, over there, smoking behind the 7-Eleven. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a no smoking sign on a plane? Is it a fidget spinner? Is it a chocolate teapot? Is it a ladle? Is it a bidet? Is it a jack-in-the-box? Is it a designer purse? Is it a tea cozy? Is it a tooth grill? Is it a toast rack? Is it an egg slicer? Is it a mattress tag that reads "Do not remove"? No, it's Adequate Man, the quintessential hero of our times. Thank you. That was called Adequate Man. So I entered that in an international comic poetry competition. I think it was Wurgle Flomp or whatever it's called. It didn't even place. So if you laughed at that, Wurgelflomp says you're wrong. Just telling you. But I got nominated recently for a pushcart prize for this poem I'm going to do right now. And it was inspired by a friend and fellow poet in Paris. It's called This Is Not Real Poetry. This is not real poetry, because in the first 5 words, I have already broken the Khoisan rule that one must never write poetry about poetry. The same logic that makes Tom Stoppard a hack since he writes plays about plays. This is not real poetry because it has no intended rhythm or meter. It is just an anarchy of chopped up prose with line breaks not random enough to be called art. Best to chuck it down a literary memory hole with William Carlos Williams and his breakfast plums. This is not real poetry because it is devoid of concrete sensory imagery, and poetry is worthless without concrete sensory imagery, or so the real poets tell me. The argument I hear tends to go like this. Poetry is about like images and like how you sense stuff and how you like make the reader see and smell and feel the same things, but in sort of a poetic way with words, okay? And like, if you can't do that, then you're stupid and boring and you shouldn't write anything ever. Stupid. No way I can win that debate. This is not real poetry because it is about ideas, not emotions, because it is about thought, not feeling, because it is about content, not style, because it is about reason, not passion. I hope I can build a bonfire big enough to burn the complete works of Jonathan Swift, Voltaire, and the rest of the 18th century. This is not real poetry, because we all know what real poetry is. Real poetry is never funny. Real poetry is never affable. Real poetry is never simple. Real poetry is never direct. Real poetry is a harsh, scholarly discipline that one cannot do properly without a lifetime of labor and sacrifice, crafting every word and syllable with the sick obsession of a madman, rewriting and refining every line as if a speck of imperfection would spark the pain of 1,000 migraines, suffocating in pain and misery and bile, but always with cool sound bonding. Real poetry is no fun. That is why I never write it. So, pushcart nominee, this is not real poetry.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Here's another one that was published earlier this year. If It Happened Now. And if the Salem witch trials happened now, we'd hang Rebecca Nurse for her witch privilege. And all Giles Corey's pleas for mercy would be met with mocking taunts of, okay, boomer. Susanna Martin and John Proctor would decry the lack of innocence presumed and say due process had been undermined. But every judge would shout all protests down with consequence and accountability. And Abigail Williams would tell her story in an HBO documentary. And if the reign of terror happened now, we'd leave it to the internet to judge the fates of nobles and their families. Marie Antoinette would never get a trial. The Twitter sound and fury would be more than enough to rush her to the scaffold steps. Her live-streamed execution would break YouTube. Her head would sit atop the Eiffel Tower and pose in selfies with millennial tourists. And Robespierre would win the Pulitzer Prize for his tell-all, Catch and Kill. And if McCarthyism happened now, we'd name and shame our socialist ex-partners and friends in epic social media rants, accompanied by the hashtag #CommieToo. Blacklisted screenwriters and actors all would cry and moan into an empty void, only to hear, this isn't cancellation, you're only being criticized. Shut up, while they collected unemployment peanuts. And Elia Kazan would grace the covers of Time and Vanity Fair for his courage. And if the satanic panic happened now, we'd scream, believe the children, twice as loud. And anyone demanding evidence in the McMartin and Little Rascals trials would be on the wrong side of history. 100 famous goth and metal bands would sign an open letter in Rolling Stone, begging for freedom of speech and free expression, but everyone would scoff and call them whiners. And Tipper Gore would be immortalized in a Netflix hagiography. Good thing humanity has reached its apex, and these events could never happen now. That was If It Happened Now, recently published on thedreamingmachine.com. And yeah, somebody on Facebook got offended that the poem wasn't offensive enough. if that makes any sense. So I have a CD I've been trying to get rid of. I have like a quarter of the box of these that I've been trying to get rid of for like almost 7 years now. It's called This Album Is Knit Fanny. I believe Marva has a copy, and she can tell you there's something on it to piss everybody off. And so because I want to sell these things, I should do something from the CD. So here's an oldie from the CD called Safety Instructions. Congratulations on your purchase of the new Darwina 2021 microwave oven. Your Darwina microwave oven will provide first-rate microwave cookery for you and your family for years to come. Before you begin operating your Darwina microwave oven, please read the following safety instructions in order to maximize your continuing satisfaction with our product. Do not operate your Darwina microwave oven if the door cannot close properly or if it is bent in any way. Do not use if the hinges or latches are broken. Do not stand in front of the Darwina microwave oven for a long period of time, as this has been known to cause tumors. Do not leave an operating Darwina microwave oven unattended. Do not use a brown paper bag to cook popcorn, as this creates a risk of fire. Do not put your face or any other body part inside your Darwina microwave oven while it is operating. Do not bring your Darwina microwave oven into the shower or bathtub with you. Do not lift your Darwina microwave oven in the air and strike it upon your head repeatedly. This has been known to cause injury. Do not stand under a falling Darwina microwave oven after it has been dropped from a tall building. Do not place your Darwina microwave oven in a catapult and then have someone release the catapult while you are standing within the oven's flight path. This can be rather dangerous. Do not use your Darwina microwave oven as an ear-piercing tool or for home dentistry. Do not play catch with your Darwina microwave oven. Do not attempt to fit your Darwina microwave oven fully into your mouth or any other bodily orifice. Please do not fill your Darwina microwave oven with explosives and then detonate them while you are within 1 meter of the oven and eating a deli stick. Do not hold your Darwina microwave oven while jumping off a high cliff and trying to fly. Do not hold your Darwina microwave oven while running into an operating airplane propeller. Do not use your Darwina microwave oven to help jam scissors into your crotch. Do not walk with your Darwina microwave oven late at night on random side streets in downtown Detroit. Do not attempt to tweak the nose of a wild grizzly bear while in the vicinity of your Darwina microwave oven. Do not use your Darwina microwave oven as a masturbatory aid. This is not necessarily dangerous, but it is a little weird. Do not attempt to operate your Darwina microwave oven while tied to a railroad track, dangling from a skyscraper, running through enemy fire across a battlefield, sticking your head out the window of a moving vehicle, playing Russian roulette, waving raw meat in front of a charging bull, diving into an empty swimming pool, eating Drano, drinking arsenic, horsing around in a room full of industrial machinery, or smoking. Do not attempt to operate your Darwina microwave oven while pulling the trigger of a pistol, only to find that the pistol appears to be out of bullets, and then out of puzzlement and curiosity, peering down the barrel of said pistol while pulling the trigger again. Thank you for taking the time to read the safety instructions for your new Darwina 2021 microwave oven. Every one of these safety instructions was created as a result of numerous tests involving a multitude of live human and animal subjects, many of whom were orphans, kittens, and adorable doe-eyed little bunnies. That was safety instructions from the CD. Thank you. As Anne pointed out in the intro, I also have a novel coming out. It might be coming out soon, or it might be coming out a little later. I'm kind of waiting to hear back about something, and I'm not sure I should be specifying more, but I will put a link to the Facebook page in the chat, as well as 2 other events I'm doing this month. If you're in the UK, you'll have to stay up pretty late for them because they're in the US, but I'll put the links anyway and see what you can do. If I have time for one more, I will close with this one. It's called Meeting. And I was at a corporate event yesterday for work, so basically I heard a whole day of this yesterday. Afternoon, stakeholders. I'd like to take ownership of this meeting and utilize it to reach out to all of you on the team and touch base in a proactive way. Going forward, before we hit the ground running in regards to our action item list, does anybody here have an ask? Any of you have an ask? Nobody has an ask? No ask? Well, let's use our bandwidth wisely and get on with our thought shower. For our primary action item going forward, let's consider reprioritizing our delivery strategy in regards to our best practices and our learnings. Do our best practices add value to the team? Do they result in value added? What kind of impact do they have? How does it impact you as a team member? How do you impact the team? How do you impact the bottom line? Do you do it in an impactful way? Is this done impactfully? Is this a cutting edge impact compliant with our externalities? Or does this impact result in a negative growth? Does this impact minimize the usage of bandwidth? Or is it a wastage of metrics? Is it appropriate to think outside the box here? Or would it be better to look for the low-hanging fruit by leveraging a standard operating procedure with a high-quality solution? In regards to this action item, does anybody have an ask? Any asks? No asks yet? Fine, let's progress the situation by doing a 360 and layering the message with alignments and blue sky thinking. In regards to our new SOP, we are forced to deal with a severe and challenging opportunity. How can we solution this opportunity? How can we action this opportunity? If we take the ball and run with it and be intentional with this opportunity, how will this impact our deliverables? After we leverage the SOP and weaponize it and then slaughter the firstborn children of our competitors, should we task our scrutineers to redact the usage of our externalities with a full hard stop? Oh, somebody has an ask. Yes. No, we're not going to be slaughtering any children. That was a metaphor. Now then, in regards to our secondary objectives and our mission statement, let's unpack this and liaise with our negative growth going forward. To put a pin in that, how much bandwidth should we expend by tasking the deliverables to the external stakeholders, and will that result in scope creep? How can we solution this impact in the third quarter with a focus on state-of-the-art technologies? Should we detonate the bomb in the hospital's underground parking garage? And if so, should we take it offline? Will this cause a predetermined hard stop in the Somebody has another ask, yes? No, we are not planning to detonate any explosives anywhere. That was jargon. Well, it's the new jargon. Have another donut there. Now, in regards to our limited bandwidth and proactive fiscal years, let's put all this in our wheelhouse and weaponize the essentials. Will we need to resource action the whole department? And if not, will there be an excess of wastage? Can we make productive usage of this wastage? Is it an opportunity we can solution with minimal wastage? Should we leverage a solution from the remote team going forward? And whom do we task with this solution? What impact will it have? How will it impact the subsequent impact? Is this a game-changing impact? Will this impact change the landscape of the industry? Once we've succeeded in our world domination objective, how much of the global population should we enslave? Do we enslave them through brute force or through brainwashing and manipulation? Should their deaths be quick and painless, or do we resort to torture first? How cruel do we need to be? Should our cruelty have a practical objective, or should we torture the populace for the pure enjoyment of it? How long do we wait before wiping off the dolphins? What about the harp seals? Should we use clubs, tasers, or power drills? What time frame should we establish for firing a nuclear missile at the sun? And when we do, what kind of impact will it have on our impacts? Yes, we have another ask. Well, I think this team member's asks are having a negative impact on our bottom line. I vote that we solution this team member permanently. I propose that we make a strong impact on him. Specifically, we impact him on the side of his head with a crowbar. And then we adopt a new delivery strategy by delivering him through a 10th floor window. No, it's not a metaphor. Let's make kicking his ass our primary action item going forward with great impact, impactfully. Thank you. Thanks. That was called Meeting. My name is Jeff Cottrill. I'm on Facebook and Twitter. I've got a CD and other events coming up. Thank you, Anne and Rafe, for having me here. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, look forward to hearing the rest of the open mic with you. Yeah.
Yeah, there were just so many great lines in that I'm still reeling. That was brilliant, Jeff. Thank you. Pop your links in the chat. I'm sure everybody would love to see those. And you want to have a scroll back and have a look at the messages as well. That was awesome.
Thanks again, Anne.
You're welcome. That was brilliant. Thank you. And there's also a link in the chat for Ko-Fi, so you can donate towards Jeff's fee and to keep these nights going. Thank you.